Alright, hello and welcome back to another video. Today we've got another quick little run of Foot Champs because once again the performance has dropped from me. Such a shame it's been lately. So this one we start off, we're skipping the intro once again, mostly because there's a change in team later on. But yeah, I tried once again the challenge of using a cheaper team. So we've got Mars 30k, Lookman 30k. It's the Evo Maradona, but it's a free card and we didn't put the 92 on him, so it's just the 89, so again, fully free card. Left mid's Jadon Sancho, who's a free objective, but then everybody else at the back, we've got, again, like, Scaldoni, is it? And Indica, I think, is the center backs again for 30k, and that doesn't last long, because we end up losing, like, game 3, I think, to a hacker, and then I think you lose game 4 or game 5, and we just kind of lose our head entirely. Unfortunately, it's been just, like, after getting, like, 3 15 of those in a row on at least one account per weekend, it's completely disappeared for me. I'm not sure what the difference has been. It feels like the game's entirely different. I've been racking my brain over like what settings I've changed, or if there's anything different on my end. I have no idea, but I'm not getting the same attacking AI, I think is my problem. Really struggling with the movement right now. And no idea what's actually changed. Genuinely none. I feel like I'm playing as well as usual. The game itself feels slightly different. Could be I don't know, like an issue with, I don't know, man, because the servers feel fine. Believe it or not, the servers actually feel fairly responsive, like the game itself and moving how I want to, but the players off the ball aren't. Oh yeah, this one, luckily, that's not the hacked loss or anything. This, okay, yeah, you can see there, the power of the power shot there, and the absolute lack of movement from any of my players. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. He had 4 red cards. This was a fun match. He just, like, I know these hackers have every ability to, yeah, if you don't believe that's a hacker, there you go. But they've got every ability to disconnect you from the match, and I'm like, I'm not gonna leave here, but 4 red cards and I lose like 8-1. Yeah, great. And then just weird bounces like that. I feel like that's been a difference this weekend too, or the past couple of weeks rather. Something with the goalkeepers have moved or something. But yeah, we got a loss for game 2 as a hacker, but then we end up losing again pretty soon. The other account's a pretty similar story. I end up losing one of my really early matches. Again, such a shame as it's been lately. And I think for now, what I want to spend the rest of this video talking on is just going to be, like, what am I going to do with this game? Because this formation feels really stale to me now. This is the only thing I can get where players end up somewhat in the position that I want. 4-2-3-1, so let's go through them, because I've tried a couple other formations. 4-2-3-1 wide, the cams aren't really programmed that well, so they seem to just linger either too wide, or sometimes they will come short and narrow, but then like not actually sprint into the box. They'll sprint to the outside of the box instead of actually going anywhere towards the center. It's a nice thing about inside forward on the left mid right mid is they will cut in and then move forward. The wide cams there seem to like cut in and then move out again, so I can't do the 4-2-3-1 narrow. That would be my favorite for the player selection. If I'm talking about my main account, I have done the Evo on Rush Neymar. We'll talk about that more later, but like, I've got a 99 dribbling cam there. I've got a 99 dribbling cam with Lookman, so I'd love to use, those two both in the team. Can't do that in the 4-2-3 on wide, unfortunately. Well, I can put Lookman up top, but, I'm looking for, I think Maradona with his finishing is a slightly better striker for me with the finesse plus, but I'd love some information to get both those players in. There just doesn't seem to be one that exists for me. So if the 4-2-3-1 narrow is out, well, I've tried the 4-1-2-2 narrow, which kind of resembles, somewhat like the 4-3-3-5 I used last year. You can make it look somewhat similar. No, it doesn't work because the build-up's too narrow and too many teams defend. If you're up against that 4-2-1-3, which is the main problem, if you're up against that formation, then it defends too centrally in exactly those positions, so you don't want to just exclusively have all your offense down the middle. Can't do that one. And then it's a little defensively vulnerable, I think, too. You just don't have any defense for the width. If we're talking about I've tried the 4-2-2-2, and the same kind of problem with the wide cam movement. I just can't get them to resemble anything I would want. I've tried any 4-3-3 and I've tried most of them. I haven't done the 4-2-1-3. I'm not going to. But any other 4-3-3 I'm doing, the wingers just stay really wide for me, and I can't get them involved at all. So I'm definitely struggling on any of those. It just doesn't resemble what I want. And my results are just as bad, if not worse, for any of the formations. So it's not like changing there is really going to be a big benefit for me. But yeah, if we're like no narrow formation, no other formation with the wide cams, no 4-3-3, I'm left with 4-1-4-1, which has all the same problems. I'm really lacking in offense in that one. I can't make do with just one single striker. I need at least that cam or somebody close by for offense. No other formation resembles anything I want. And I have to complain here. So last year I had my favorite ever formation in any FIFA. I had the false nine. And the movement out of that was brilliant. It was beautiful. It was everything I wanted. But the reason it worked is because I had my fullbacks on overlap. So having them get involved meant the left wing and the right wing last year actually moved more inside to accommodate the fullbacks overlapping. The wingers would stay very wide unless you had that overlap, but it created exactly the kind of shape I wanted. But this year, if I'm trying that, which again I want more than anything else, I want those fullbacks involved so I can have more players on offense. Is what I want. If I have them doing the overlap, then any time I face a 4-3-3, you're just countered. It is guaranteed they are getting to your box, pretty much. So yeah, if I'm committing that many bodies forward, if you're just sacrificing your fullbacks, like you might be able to defend them in the box once your center backs like they're pulling their attackers forward to try to attack from a good goal scoring opportunity. You might be able to meet them in the box, but you don't have time for anything else. Like they will have the space to get in there. And if I can't do the overlapping fullbacks, I feel like I'm lost for every single other formation. I tried a formation that looked a bit like an airplane, and we might talk about this if this ends up working for me. But what it was the CDM, it's still a 4-2-3-1 wide, but it was one of the CDMs on center half. So you at least kind of have a back three, which does a little better at defending some of the 4-3-3s. Although if they leave their wide players on winger instead of inside forward, then you pretty much have the same problem either way. So that doesn't quite work, and if I can't get those fullbacks overlapping, I can't think of any other way to generate decent offense for what I want. Because the left mid and right mid I'm still struggling with on the inside forward instruction here. Like you'll see Mara's getting where I want there, but most of the time it feels like they're just lingering in a way that they didn't used to. They're a little bit wider, they're not quite as aggressive, they're not getting into the box nearly as well. And again, I don't know what changed. Like, there's not been a patch or anything, but it feels like the attacking movement is entirely different than it used to be. But the problem I have with this game is last year, if you had the wingbacks on overlapping, if the opponent was in a 4-3-3, which everybody played 4-3-2-1 last year, but regardless, like either way, if you had your players attacking, the opponent had more players defending. So it meant you were less vulnerable for a counterattack because like you committing bodies forward meant they committed bodies back, and they didn't have anybody left forward just to counter you every single time. So for me, it was really, really like a good way to attack because it meant that their counterattacks were stifled as well. And yeah, they defend with more players overall, which is a little bit harder to attack, but I had the shape I wanted, and that was so fun for me. But this year, if I do that, the opponent doesn't have the wingers track back you can't set it up. Because last year you could have left wing and right wing, and you could put them on the comeback on defense instruction, right? That doesn't exist. There's no comeback on defense instruction this year. There's no way to set that up. So they're stuck at the halfway line, on the touch line, just being as far up the pitch as they possibly can, no matter what. So for me, it's like, if I want them involved, or if I want anybody to attack, any 4-3-3, you're just guaranteed to pretty much lose against no matter what. Like, if they're a decent quality opponent, they will just take the space you give them every single time. And if I can't do that, I can't think of any other formation that looks anything like I want. Like, the next closest, aside from some kind of 4-3-3 or 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1, where the wingbacks are overlapping, the next closest shape I'd kind of want would be, I guess, a 3-back. Because if you think about it, people think 3-backs are more defensive. But if you think of it this way, like the back four, when you've got a dedicated back four with fullbacks on fullback balanced or fullback defend, that dedicated back four is 4 players back on defense. The back three is only 3. You actually have more people getting forward on offense for it, right? But 3-backs are dead this year. They just don't work at all. So I'm completely if this formation isn't working, if something's changed, if the attacking AI is a little bit different or what have you, People say there's been a matchmaking change. I feel like it is harder. It's certainly been more competitive. I've faced more people recently who are like, um, passing the ball around the back when they're in the lead and that kind of thing, where they're just like absolutely going for result after result after result, no matter what. The passing about around the back has really gotten to me lately because like people are caring about this game more than ever, which it's after Team of the Year, which is pretty disappointing. I think people tend to care about the game less at this point and like not struggle for results as much. Anyway, we are at the end here, and I'm conscious of that. So let me know in the comments if you've got any formational ideas for me to do something with. If there's any way to get fullbacks overlapping to work, I would love to use the attacking wingback construction more than anything. Because if you have that, then the left wing and the right wing cut more inside, or the left mid and right mid cut more inside. You just get a guaranteed decent progression up the pitch every single time. It's really nice to have them involved. Anything you can think of for me to get those players to work. If you have a formation, whether there's a CDM on center half or anything weird like that, just let me know, because I'm desperate for some way to get just a greater offensive shape out of my players. Hopefully, like to create more movement out of them, because the movement is so stationary, so stale, so repetitive. Part of it's because I've used this formation for so long that I can't get anything else to work, so I'm a little bored of it. But part of it just feels different for me. And like again, I've tested the wingbacks overlapping, fixes the movement of the wide mids. Absolutely fixes it. They are so much better. They're also better with like one of the CDMs a little bit out of the way, but anyway, if you give them more space and if you force them to cut inside because somebody else is out wide, they do so much better for you. But I lose every game anyway because the counterattacks are too easy. So yeah, if you've got any ideas for me, please let me know. Sorry the content's been a bit down. I know the results have been a bit down, and it's definitely been getting to me, but we're going to try to work on that here and hopefully put some decent stuff out again. If you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. Again, let me know if you got any ideas for me in the comments here, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.